Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you are brand new, welcome. I am Tammy. You are here on Tammy Talks, where we talk TV show recaps and then pop culture and everything in between that just might happen. So let's before we get started, huge thank you to everybody that has been subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting on all the videos. If you are brand new here, or if you are somebody that has been typing in Tammy Talks every single week, every day to try to see what's new, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 right now, y'all, which is crazy to me. But we are on the road to 1,000, so take a moment or two to hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciated and all that good stuff. So let's get into Sistas. This is Sistas season 3, episode 13, Water Under the Bridge. I didn't take notes for the show, and I feel like with Sistas, I really don't need to because we all know Tyler Perry shows, right? The way that Tyler Perry structures his shows is that it's a lot of stuff that happens within like an hour of their real time. So everything we saw probably happened in like an hour and a half. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just go person by person throughout what happened or what they went through throughout the episode. And then from there, I'll talk about if there were any group scenes. So let's start with Zach. So Zach is at this skeleton of a house where it looks like the base is there, but the house still needs to be designed and constructed from the inside to like really get like the walls up and all that other type of stuff. So the concrete, the basis, the frame is there. So he's meeting at this house, meeting with this realtor who is extremely into him, obviously. And she's telling him that the house has a couple other people that are interested. So if he is truly interested in the house and he's ready to pull the trigger, that he needs to, move fast. So he's like, okay, he really likes the house. He tells her that he needs to make a phone call before that. So he gives Fatima a call. Gives Fatima a call because he really wants Fatima to see the house because we know Zach doesn't know what he's doing. He just doesn't. It's not shade to him, but anybody that's looking into going into like buying investment property or buying a house that he can build out to flip, he doesn't know how to do that. You know what I mean? So the realtor then asked him, like, would you be able to put down, a cash offer? Is this 50, what are you willing to do to secure this property? Zach said that he would be putting down 50% of the cost of the house, cost of the property. And that's because of his credit. He wants to make sure that he gets it. So she is like, so, okay, I can work with a lender at the bank, whatever the case. Are you married, engaged? And he was like, is that on the application? And she said, no, she just wants to know. And I said, ma'am, where's the professionalism? Where is the professionalism? Jeez. So he tells her, not married, not engaged, but I am dating somebody. I'm seeing someone. So she takes it in stride. So while Zach is looking around, Karen calls him. And Karen is calling him, and I'll get to Karen in a minute. But Karen is calling Zach and just kind of thanking him for the check and all that other type of stuff. And Zach is like, okay, cool. Karen wants to meet for dinner. Zach is like, not gonna do that. So he's very, very curt with her on the phone, very direct and to the point. He doesn't want to meet for dinner, doesn't think that they should hang out. Like, it is what it is at this point. So he like rushes her off the phone. One, he is busy. He's in the middle of something. And two, he just doesn't want to go back there with Karen. So he rushes her off the phone and he makes a statement when he hangs up that you had 3 years to see this in me and you didn't. I'm not going to even get into what Karen should have and should not have done in a relationship because Zach is at fault too. But Zach is a different person with Fatima, and it's because, as we can see, Fatima does pour into Zach more and more positively than Karen ever did, that we saw on camera at least. And I get it, Karen dealt with cheating with Zach and all this other type of stuff, but Fatima is pouring more into him than Karen did. And when you pour more into a person, for some people, they produce more. So Fatima shows up and she tells Zach that, it's a good property. He's telling her we could put a bedroom here, we could put this here. And she's like, yeah, I like the area. There's a daycare, there's schools. And Zach is like, and she's like, no, for like the resale value. They have little cute flirting exchange moments. You look good in that suit. You look good in that dress. Take it off of me. They have that type of exchange. And then she's gone. So that's pretty much like Zach. Let's just merge into Fatima. So Fatima is Fatima is meeting with Zach back at her office. Andy is looking for her. And when Andy goes to Fatima's office, Hayden is there. I am so sick of Hayden. I can't tell y'all how unbelievably sick of Hayden I am. So she sees Hayden back there and he's on her desk and he's flipping through pages. And when Fatima gets back to the office, because she tells Zach, I got to get back to work. So when she tells Zach that and she gets back to work, Andy, for one, I think had a little too much attitude. When she was looking for Fatima. I get it. She is your assistant. But the way that Andy talks to people, I cannot have. Boss or not, because see, Andy has blurred those lines between the two of them where it's not just, oh, well, that is her boss. Andy has taken it a step to where they're low-key friends. They have a friendship. So the way that Andy talks to her sometimes after Fatima saved you when you got jumped in the parking lot, it wouldn't be me. Would not be me. I'll tell you that. So she kind of tells her, like, why was Hayden in your office? And Fatima was like, I don't know. Did he say why? And she said, well, he was behind your desk. So Fatima goes and confronts Hayden and it's like, why were you in my office? And he was like, I was looking for you. But next time you come to my office, knock first. And I'm like, I don't understand the point of Hayden's character. I don't understand the point of Hayden's character. I don't understand what Hayden's end goal is. This woman doesn't like you. So your goal is to tear down Zach? Like, it just, to me, it just doesn't make sense. It honestly and truly just does not make sense. But whatever. So that's Fatima and Zach. Let's move on to Karen. So first we see Karen. She is doing somebody's hair in that empty ass shop. And I don't know why Karen is surprised that her customers are going to the other guy that left. Because one, Karen was never at work. Two, we have seen Karen leave in the middle of doing people's hair. Three, we have seen Karen, leave the shop in the middle of doing someone's hair and has someone else finish. Three, we have seen Karen be on the phone while she's doing someone's hair. Now, when I go get my hair done, my beautician, sometimes she is on the phone, but she's actively still doing my hair while she's on the phone. She has never, and I mean never, in the almost 8 years that I have been going to her, longer than that to be real. I've been with my beautician, my current one, for like 10 years. She has never, y'all, been doing my hair, got a phone call, and then left and went or sat down next to me and started talking about something unless it was like an extreme emergency. So that is baffling to me that Karen does that. So like Karen just, what do we ever see Karen do? She ain't working. So there should not be a surprise. I can't think of it, but Beyonce's cousin that plays her assistant, she is just the worst assistant ever. So she was like, yeah, you did a good job, but you know they're going to leave and go to so-and-so shop. And it's like, come on. Like, don't kick me when I'm down. And all the assistant is worried about is whether she going to get her paycheck. And I'm thinking, girl, what are you getting paid to do? We literally do not see that woman do anything. So Karen is telling her it's fine. I'm getting ready to go to the bank. Like, we got the money. Don't worry about anything. And the assistant, I don't know why I can't think of her name. It's gonna come to me after the video. But the assistant is like, okay, so are you going to cash the check that Zach gave you? And Karen is like, how do you know about this check? You should know that your assistant is nosy as hell. She knows everything that's going on in your business, right? So she's like, I got the money from Zach. It's enough to do all this other kind of stuff. Karen then goes in the back in her office to talk, to get on the phone. She calls Zach. Zach still has her cell phone number blocked. She's offended by that. Girl, why? On top of that, why are you calling Zach? So she calls Zach to thank him for the money, says that, she was in a really difficult time financially with her shop right now. So as a result of that, the money came at the right time. She's thankful for the money. Let's go to dinner and talk about it. And Zach paid her dust. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Like, we're not together. We're not friends. You are somebody that I used to date at this point. You're somebody I used to date. We have moved on. I gave you back the money that you have given me over the years. There's nothing that we need to discuss at this time. Nothing. And I'm like, Karen, move on. Move on. So Karen then goes, she's offended, like just, girl, get over it. So we see Karen heading to the bank where Maurice and actually no, I'll stop there with Karen. Let's switch over to Danny. So we have Danny who is at work doing nothing at Higher Airlines. Tyler could have thought of anything else. Higher Airlines. Like the name is just Lord. Okay. So Higher Airlines, and Danny, I don't even know what her actual job is, but we see the guy that they used to know from college, who is the now stripper. He comes in. We have this super awkward, long drawn out exchange where he's telling her, I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm thinking, have you been seeing her recently? Before you saw her at the bar that night? What difference does it make? So he's telling her, come on down to the club. I make so much money off of stripping. I'll get you a booth and a bottle and all that stuff. And she's like, and I want VIP. And I want this. And I'm like, okay. So then it switches over. So let's do Sabrina and Maurice. Okay. Episode starts off with Sabrina. She is at the bank, and we see that Q still has the gun to Maurice's head, and then all these masked men giving very much bootleg dead presidents. They come out in these masks, and they're like securing their perimeters. They are telling Sabrina, open the vault. As I said in the last video, I used to work at a bank. I was a teller. I know for a fact it takes 2 people to get into the vault, right? 2 people. Typically, a teller has a code, and then either a personal banker or a manager has the other code. So you cannot go in and rob a bank before or after hours with one person, okay? For one, I didn't understand why, whatever. So what I did not like about this entire thing is how Maurice threw Sabrina under the bus. You put Sabrina in that situation, y'all are not real friends. I don't care what anybody says, y'all are not real friends. Because a real friend would never put another friend in that situation. So you have a gun to your head. And you're like, he was basically mouthing for Sabrina to not call the police and to basically just give them the money so they can go. And it's like, Maurice. So Sabrina's like, I have to call because corporate has to open the safe. So they take, or the vault. So they take her around back. She calls and she's like, if they see you on camera, they're not going to open it. And I'm thinking, he's standing there with his gun right here the entire time. He has the gun on you the entire time, like right here. What camera is not going to see that? So she calls, she gives a badge number to open the thing. Um, for one, she said, we have a customer that needs to get in the vault. I thought that was weird, but whatever. So she gives this code. And she's like, it takes them a second. They have to do something on their end, and then it's going to open. So Maurice is like, that wasn't your badge number. What code did you give? And Sabrina's like, I gave them the damn robbery code. Why don't you know? And Maurice is like, well, why didn't you give them the money? Sabrina said, I cannot open the vault. Why don't you know that? And Maurice is like, oh. Oh. And it's like, I get that Tyler Perry is making these people a caricature of like, how their personalities can be. But the way that he's had Maurice act through this entire scene with the what clothes am I gonna wear because of this? Don't do that. I can't be on TV because of this. I'm sensitive. It's like it's not realistic. And I get it's campy and it's TV and it's this typical Tyler Perry-esque writing, but it was draining to watch. So Q and the other masked men, they're like, if the police come, I'm shooting everybody out in here. But then they leave. So, like, they don't even wait for the vault to be opened. So they're gone. This awkward ass white cop comes in, and again, we have more weird ass dialogue. And ultimately, Sabrina's like, Maurice, you need to tell the truth. You need to tell the truth. He did know him. So Maurice is like, the woe is me. I'm a lonely bitter bitch. And he's like, this man showed me a little bit of attention, and then we slept together, and then he held me at gunpoint to rob the bank. And then it turns into, no, say the whole thing. You let this man get away after knowing that he stole and that he stole your roommate's checkbooks and was going around town cashing checks. That's what it comes down to. This man began to groom you because he saw you and saw that you were lonely and desperate and willing to put up with any and everything, right? So that's how that happened. You then brought Sabrina into it because you then began to tell this man that, oh, the manager is the one that can open the vault, because for whatever reason, as a teller who we have seen have to close and open the bank, why don't you know that you can't get into the vault? On top of that, no one person opens the bank alone. This is basic stuff. Basic things that if you just take the time to talk to anybody that has ever worked at a bank, they will tell you. Nonetheless. So then we see Karen come in, and Karen comes in, sees all the police officers, all the cops and stuff outside, yet she's still able to come inside the bank. And the officer was like, nope, we're closed. Well, then the door should be locked. Somebody should have been outside the door to tell Karen that y'all were closed. So she gets in, and Sabrina's like, no, it's okay. She can come in. And Karen is like, what's going on? Sabrina says, we were just robbed, whatever. And Maurice is in his woe is me. It's my fault. Yes, it is your fault, Maurice. It is your fault. And you should feel bad about what happened. It is your fault. This entire situation was your fault. Absolutely. 100. So Karen goes to deposit the check. Sabrina's like, this is from Zach? Okay, wow. They have this exchange back and forth about Zach, and then Karen tells Sabrina that Aaron wants to marry her. And Sabrina's like, don't you think y'all should wait? And Karen's thing is, you don't like him. It's not a fact of liking him. Y'all have been dating for like 2 or 3 months. After you met him while he was going through a divorce, and his wife killed herself in front of you, only for her brother to come and try to kill you, for your mama to come in and have to kill the man. No, you should not be marrying this man. Absolutely not. It's too much going on. So they have this, awkward exchange where Karen keeps asking Sabrina, are you sure you're okay? And it's clear that Sabrina is not, but she's putting on. So she is trying to divert any and all attention away from what's going on to talk about Karen. So Karen leaves. She calls Andy and Danny. There was a very weird exchange of energy when Andy answered the phone when Karen called her, and she tells the girls that Sabrina was just robbed at gunpoint. She's shaky, whatever. When you guys get off work, let's go over there tonight. Sabrina takes Maurice home. And said, let's have a drink together. Let's try to relax. Let's not, I want you to calm down because I'm worried about you. Maurice goes through a typical Tyler Perry dialogue where we have to have a lesson in every episode. And he's talking about how, because of his weight and his size and his age, that men don't find him attractive. And he just saw a little bit of hope with Q. And it's like, okay. So while they're having this come to Jesus moment, we see a white woman come out completely naked, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know anybody else was here." And I'm thinking, how? You didn't hear the talking? They're literally sitting in the kitchen. And then Calvin comes out, and Sabrina sees that even though Calvin told her and made her promise that if he was sleeping with anybody else to tell her, Calvin is back there bumping uglies with this white girl. And that's where the episode ends. Yikes. I love Sisters. It's definitely a labor of love. It's a show that, even though you know that it's kind of like draining, it's good. It has a good storyline. It's just that the acting is just kind of like... But I am Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. Again, this is Sistas Season 3, Episode 13. I forgot what it was called. Hold on, y'all. Let me look back up what it's called. Water Under the Bridge. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed the content. Check out some of the other videos on my channel, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.